We have on our agenda Dr. Rosendo, who's going to talk to us. And also, if we have eighth grade parents here, we have Ms. Poe here that can answer any questions. So, on my part, I just would like to um, remind everyone that we have a help desk every day from 8:30 to 2 o'clock. It's a virtual help where we share the screen, where the students are able to share the screen with us, and we are able to help them navigate whatever issues they have with their tablets. Let me share my screen so I could show you exactly the way that they are able to log on. So we can start in a plain Google page. You go to the address bar and you type in ms390.com. And when you get there, we have put several shortcuts here. The DOE calendar. I know that the vacation for February is coming. And if you are planning some type of a trip or something and you want to know the dates for the vacations, you just have to click there and it will give you the dates for all the vacations that we have all the way to the end of the year. So we have the meals that are given out every day at the school is from, I believe, from 8 to 12 every day, where they are giving out the breakfast and lunch. It's a grab and go, and it's happening every single day. So you have all these shortcuts here, and at the bottom here you will see help desk from 8:30 to 2 p.m. When you click there, it will take you to a Google Meet just like this one, and you can log in with a personal account, because I know that sometimes the students have issues with their MS390 emails. So we are there. We allow them to go in and we share. Not only that, we could also see that as a regular office in the school. You could go in, ask a question. I need a letter, or how can I know about this? I have a problem with my school's account, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. We are there to help you. So that is happening every single day. Ms. Poe, are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
If you would be so kind to take 5 minutes and give us an update on the eighth grade applications for high school.
Yes, absolutely. Good evening, parents. Welcome. Happy New Year. My name is Miss Poe. I am the eighth grade counselor here at MS390, and I will let you know currently about the high school application process. Any parents here that have eighth grade students, as of today, the My School app has been open for parents and students that are already thinking about which high schools they're going to apply. What that means is that the app is available, or the application, the platform is available for parents to add up the different schools digitally, so they can submit it for completion and considerations for the high schools. I run support sessions on how to do the application, how to look for schools every Tuesdays and Thursdays of every week. We've been doing this since October. So on Tuesdays we do it in in English, and on Thursdays we do it in Spanish. Again, it's an hour. Any parents that want a more like individualized one-to-one support, we have created an appointment form, which is posted on the MS390 website, where you can just go in, select the time, availability, and I will confirm in an email that we will have that appointment when you have selected the time and day of availability. The deadline to apply for high schools, according to the DOE, is February 22nd. But I'm going to be very clear with you, so we can be on the same page. We are encouraging our families, eighth grade families, to have their application done by February 11th. Why? We are going to go on winter break starting February 12th. If we go on winter break February 12th, we're going to come back February 21st. So if we're back in school on the 22nd, which is the deadline of the application, it will be almost impossible for any of us to provide you with the support that you need to submit that application. So we have until now, till February 11, to support you in any way that you need support to ensure that you complete your child's high school, my school application. With that said, we're here to support. I cannot stress it enough. I have about 140 emails from 8th grade parents, and I have 177 emails for my 8th grade students. I email at least 3 times a week. So tutorials, Spanish and English directions, instructions, updates, anything related to the 8th grade, it is shared via email with all parents and students. And as a matter of fact, we went as far as to create on the MS390 website a link where you have ready access to everything that's happening regarding the high schools, from open houses to the virtual open houses offered by the DOE, to the tutorials that we have shared via email, so on and so forth. So again, thank you for your time. Any questions, feel free to email me, and I'll be more than glad to support you.
Thank you very much.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I could hear you.
Okay, great.
So all your
issues. Good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to see you guys on this meeting. I hope you and your families are keeping safe. And I am here just to share some tips, on healthy eating. So basically, we realize, that this we're spending more time at home. We are not able to do the errands and take the trips to the park and going to the gyms, unfortunately, to get our activity done. However, I think that there's a lot that we are able to still do at home, and one of them is by starting to eat healthy. Having healthy eating habits is so important in order to maintain a healthy weight, especially when our activity is changed. Another reason why healthy eating is so important for you and your children is because of it gives you high energy levels to sustain all the expectations and responsibilities of the day, right? Our responsibilities as parents and as caregivers do not change, so we need to have a high energy level in order to stay up and to maintain the stress levels as low as possible. For our children, healthy eating also helps with their academic performance, because if they're coming into classes and they're not having their breakfast or something in their stomach so that they are able to focus, most likely they will be distracted by the rumbling on their stomachs for hunger or other things like headaches or stomach pains. So it has been proven that healthy eating habits help increase academic performance in children and work performance in adults. For everyone who is likes to look radiant and have a healthy skin, healthy eating habits, it reflects in your skin as well. And that's, a good motivation for everyone to adopt healthy eating habits. So what are healthy eating habits? The recommended meals of the day start with breakfast. We realize that, especially nowadays with being at home and remote learning and sometimes staying up late, we just wake up with enough time to get ready for school. But having breakfast in the morning before you start your day It's very important so that you are able to focus and have the energy that you need for the day and make better choices when it comes to eating. Breakfast does not consist of having a very big meal or, heavy meal. It can just be having a bowl of fresh fruit, a smoothie with, low-fat milk and low sugar, having a milkshake of, fresh fruits or frozen fruits and low-fat milk. That can be a good breakfast to start your day. Or having a low-fat cereal, oatmeals, or granola bars. Anything of this is important because it just gives you that boost, that energy that you need after being fasting for the 8 hours, the night before while you were sleeping. And when you wake up, you really need to have a healthy meal so that you can have the energy that you need for your day. Also, it's very important that you have something for lunchtime. A lot of times we think that if we skip meals, we will have, the opportunity to lose some pounds. However, your body is so smart that if you are, skipping meals all the time, your body starts saying, I need to conserve all this energy because I may not get a meal for lunch. So it's important that you keep a good, a small portion meals as frequent as possible so that your body, your metabolism stays as constant as possible. So for lunch, we want to keep, a healthy lunch as well, like having a sandwich with tuna, turkey, or any baked meats that it's low in fat, low in salt, and this will keep our system, in check. Having a salad, having some cooked meals. The advantage of having a homemade meal is that you control the amount of salt and the amount of fat that you use to cook your meals. Fast food is quick to get and it's not as expensive. However, there's tons of salt and tons of oil that has trans fats that is not healthy for your body, and that oftentimes leads to chronic illnesses like high blood pressure, heart disease, and diabetes. Also, I want to encourage to have, a dinner. Have a dinner with your family. Cook a healthy dinner with lean meats, chicken, and fish. That also includes some vegetables in it. The more color that you see in the vegetables, the better. And also going more on the vegetables and less on the carbs, such as pastas, rice, and other carbohydrates. It's very important that we make a distinction that there's different kinds of carbs. And I just want to say that the amount of carbs also is very important because that turns into sugars that your body, if it's not burning them as, if you're not very active, they will be stored as fat. And then that's how when we start gaining those pounds. Adding healthy fats on your, not all fats are bad. Healthy fats, are such as the ones that we find in olive oil and canola oil, vegetable oils are important, and they keep your heart healthy. It's important that we know that there is a difference between using these oils to using butter and lard and all these things that are contain high levels of trans fat. Also, healthy fats that we find in avocados and nuts and olive oils keep your heart healthy and keep you away from heart disease and other chronic illnesses that are commonly found in our communities. So it's very important that, when you're doing your grocery shopping, that you read the food labels so that you can tell whether it contains a healthy oil or healthy fats, or if it's not a good choice, even if the price is, might be different. Cutting down on salt, I cannot emphasize the amount, the importance of cutting down on the salts. Salts raises your blood pressure and it increases your risk for heart disease. So it's important that you pay attention to that when it comes down to, making those food choices. And we always talk about, this with our kids in the clinics and in classes. Everyone loves pizza, everyone loves McDonald's, but if you looked at the labels of those foods, the amount of salt is incredible. And, and it's so important that we pay attention to that. Physical activity is a must, right? And we realize that we are not able to maintain that physical activity that we probably had before. But as I saw, some of the presenters earlier, even doing some movements in your chair, in between chores or in between meetings, encouraging your children to just keep on moving and doing those exercises, of your body is just important, and they add up. 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, in between classes, in between, just taking multiple trips to the living room so that you can get your walking, your steps in, is going to add up to the recommended 45 minutes of physical activity, a day. Dancing, jumping, just playing games with your kids at home. It's fun. It keeps your family together. It keeps your family, in touch, and you're doing something good for your bodies. And it's always important that you model that habit so that your kids can follow. Also, drinking water when you're thirsty. A lot of times, when we're thirsty, we go for those sugary drinks, the juice, the iced tea, the soda, that are so tasty, but they contain tons of sugar that unfortunately, have increased the levels of overweight and obesity and diabetes in our community. I have seen 12 and 13-year-old kids who are starting to show symptoms of diabetes and are now have had to start medications to control that sugar that their body is not able to use, and to hopefully lower their risk of developing diabetes as adults. So drinking water, 8 cups of water a day, is just so important for your body to not just keep a healthy weight, but also to maintain a healthy body and staying away from those diseases such as diabetes and heart disease that are just that are destroying our families. It's important to hydrate your body so that your skin can continue to look young and healthy, and to limit the amount of sugary drinks that includes milk a day. We know that the milk contains calcium, and it's important that your kids especially get that calcium in, but we want to limit milk to also 1 or 2 cups a day. We don't want to drink milk when we're thirsty, especially our kids love milk. But it's important that they also know that there's a difference in drinking milk for, to get your calcium in, and and drinking that with your cereal for breakfast and for maybe supper before you go to bed, but to drink water whenever you're thirsty.
That is so important to talk about, because most of the time people try to stay hydrated, and the thing that many of us do is go for the coffee, go for the soda, go for the juice, and even the milk, because we think, okay, we're gonna intake some sugar, but at least I'm hydrated. Is that a bad assumption?
Yes, I think that it's important that we pay attention. Obviously, as I think I heard Jordana and Ms. Avallo say, being mindful of what decisions we are making. We are not always going to be right in the mood to make those good decisions, but I think it's important that we realize what we are doing. If we know that we had a cup of coffee with 5 sugars in the morning because that's what we need to start our day, okay, now you know that you already had 5 spoons of sugar in that coffee, and now you need to, reduce the amount of sugar in other things that you could have had later on that day. It's important that you hydrate your body, whenever you're thirsty. A lot of times we assume that we are hungry, or that we are, that we want something, because we are stressed out, when in reality, our body is just telling you that you're thirsty and you need to drink water. And the recommended, amount of water that we need a day is 8 cups of water in order to maintain the amount that our body needs to keep going.
Yes, I definitely, I'm short on the 8 cups. If I drink 1, it will be a lot. For those of you that know how to cook, I know that the way that us Latinos do the rice is not that healthy, because we add oil, we add salt, and there are other people that have their special ingredients, and you could see a white rice, but it's full of different things.
There is a brown rice. There is, there's other choices that contain the amount, that are not, they don't contain the amount of refined carbohydrates or sugars, okay, that if not used later on turn into basically, weight, pounds on our body. Right? So it's important that we make those choices. White rice, it's obviously, it all depends on the amount too, right? So white rice, if you're going to have white rice, that's fine. But just look at the amount, the portion of the rice that you're putting on your plate. If you can imagine your plate and dividing it into 4, portions, one of those 1/4 of that plate should be the amount of rice that you can eat at that meal. It should not be half of your plate full of rice and then the meat, and then on top of that some pastas and other carbohydrates, because then you're overdoing it and you're putting in more than what your body is going to be able to burn before it's time for for bed. So it's important that you make that, a picture in your head when you're sitting down, to make sure that half of your plate is vegetables, and, maybe a fruit can take place of that 1/4 of your plate. And then 1/4 should be of that rice or that pasta that you want to eat with that meal. And then the other 1/4 of a healthy protein, because protein is also, there's different kinds of protein. Having a hamburger contains protein, but it's not a healthy protein for your body because it contains highest amount of salt and fat. And that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the protein that you're eating, right? So having lean meats, having chicken, fish, it's healthier than having pork meat and beef that has, high amount of fat in it, or that was fried instead of, baking it or boiling it and into a stew.
Yes. So if anybody has any questions for Dr. Rosendo, please unmute your mic. You're welcome to ask your question, or you could write it on the chat and then we will read it. She is the doctor for the clinic. So also if you have any questions regarding the clinic, you could also take the opportunity to ask your question. All right. I know that we lost some people when you said about the burgers. That was not a very popular thing to say,
I love
Yeah,
when she said about the rice.
right?
you can have your burger once a month.
I think it's kind
Yes, and now in these times, it's difficult to control what you eat because you got nothing else but to eat. Somebody said to me that my cheeks look swollen because I am, overdoing the eating too.
Mr. Durant, can I make a suggestion?
Sure, sure.
So, in order to cut down, I mean, not cut down, but maybe Founder, you could tell me if this is correct. To still enjoy the foods that we're used to, including the chuletas and the steak, would it be possible to do that with an air fryer as opposed to possibly the way that it's being prepared now? Because an air fryer works on conduction heat and it requires very little oil to cook the food, and the oil helps to crisp it and and you season it, of course, with that regular seasoning, but also it's not being deep fried, and that would help with the saturated fat that you would be consuming, for the food. If you cooked it the traditional way. So an investment in an air fryer might be a good way to still enjoy the foods that we love, including burgers. But also it just
And
changes.
chicken wings.
Huh?
And the chicken wings.
And the
And
chicken wings and everything. You could do so much with an air fryer because there's very little oil that's used. It cooks pretty quick, and the thing about it is that, and because they're so popular, the price is very low at this point. So it might be a good investment.
And there you go, the advertisement already.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean,
No,
I know I love eating those foods as well, but there's a healthy. So it's like having your cake and eating it too.
so
I
Dr.
think
Rotunda, that is
thank you,
a good.
Ms. Carr.
Go
Yes.
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Ms. Carr, for bringing that up because I think that is so important. You become creative when you want to still eat the foods that you love and the comfort foods that, makes us feel good, right? But I think it's important to pay attention to the amount of trans fat. That's really the key, because if you're using oils that are, have high amount of trans fats to cook your meal, then it's going to end up, hurting you in the end. And that's what we're trying to avoid. There's so many healthy oils that we can use in our cooking, like vegetable oils, that that we just need to pay attention when we buying those, making those choices. And I think that that's something that we just need to also learn, to be educated to make those healthy choices. But the air fryer is a good option, and and you cook so many great things in there.
Mm-hmm. And then now they even have an avocado oil, which is not only gives flavor to the food, but it has a high smoke point, so it doesn't, you won't, you won't have to worry about like at the temperature that you're using it, and it works great in an air fryer.
Yes, yes.
Mr. Rosendo, I have a question here. What do you think about the diet, keto diet, that you stop eating for a good portion of the day, and then you like eat once a day or something like that? I think you mentioned something about the body recognizing that.
Yes. I don't really know much about that, to be honest, but I have to say that your metabolism is just, works amazingly, that your body learns to adapt. And the key to healthy eating and dieting is about how long can you sustain that, habit. If it's something that you're not going to be able to sustain for, the rest of your life, then losing some, that diet may help you for a few weeks, maybe a couple months, to lose that weight. But then the minute that you change it you're going to get those pounds back and maybe more. So I think that the what I always recommend is, you know, just start slow and pay attention to your relationship with food, your relationship with physical activity, and then you will start making better choices that are going to lead to weight loss. Weight loss is not just, it shouldn't be the ultimate goal of healthy eating. I think that, to me, it's more important, you know, staying away from heart disease, heart attacks, high blood pressure, diabetes that I see all the time. And I'm starting to see it in younger and younger people. You know, I work with kids, you know, I work in the school clinic, so I work with kids, and seeing an 11-year-old, you know, whose hemoglobin A1C, which is a test that measures sugars for the, you know, for the previous 3 months, of 6.2, that we oftentimes will only see it in in adult diabetics, is really, really sad. And it's really, really concerning, because, you know, it just shows that our kids are suffering the consequences of our choices. And now we need to start thinking about, you know, ourselves, so that we are able to care for them, but also to teach them good habits, we need to model it. So I think it's so important that, you know, we think about that. And that we invest in our health, and how to sustain these healthy habits so that they can last. I think those classes already started. You know, we started healthy eating back in December before the holidays, and we wanted to, you know, just kind of get that talk going. And we actually work with Ms. Verona to get a nutritionist and a health educator to talk with our students during class.
Oh, that takes place on the class session, on class
Yeah.
time?
Yes, during
Awesome.
class times.
Yeah, that's part of the day. I was going to mention it also. Another question that we have here is what is the best oil to cook with?
Vegetable oil, avocado oil, olive oil for salads, and, you know, canola oil have very low amounts of trans fats, and that's what we want. We want to pay attention to oils that contain low amounts of trans fats, which are the fats that we want to stay away. They increase the bad cholesterol, and that's, you know, what we want to avoid.
I'm sorry.
Those are few to mention, so I'm not here to advertise any particular one, but, you know, those are good ones that I would recommend.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Dwayne.
No, go ahead, Ms. Carr. Go ahead.
So I also had children in my house. They're young adults now, and I had to stop buying this stuff. That was the only way to really control their consumption at home. When they weren't here, you know, I had no control over what they did, but I had to stop buying cookies. I had to stop buying ice cream. I had to stop buying, you know, soda, because they were using it as a meal substitute. So that was really, you know, it started here in my house. So, and I had to substitute it with just like, you know, fruit infused water, which there's a lot of, you know, or salsa or fruit infused, you know, salsa, stuff like that. So at first they didn't drink it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but after a while, when there was nothing else, that they started to drink, because you know, they were thirsty, they wanted something to drink, and of course, like most kids, they didn't like what, you know, they don't like water because it's not flavored, it has no taste. But the ones that had like you know, like a fruit that was infused with the water, that they that's all they drink now because that's all I have in my house. So if that's a suggestion, Hernandez. And we can also reinforce it at school, but in that partnership between the school and the home, that's where things really kind of gel.
Yeah.
That's
It's not a way to start. I think that as long as you start and we start, slow, and I think that the important thing to keep in mind is that having healthy snacks at home is what's going to help you, not be the, that one in the picture, right? Because whenever they feel hungry and they want a snack, that's all they're gonna find, a healthy snack at home. They're not gonna find those Oreos or those chips or those candies and things that are not good for them whenever they want to go for a snack. So if you having apples, having fresh fruit at home, so that when they're hungry they can go for that apple, having a low sugar content of granola bars or fruit cups that are in 100% juice and not syrup is also going to make a big difference because when they're going to get their fruit portion for the day and they're not going to be getting so much sugar in the juice that it comes with it, and it's sweet to their taste, so they will love it. Like Ms. Carr said, having soda at home is not going to help you, especially when you're going to have to fight with them about the number of cans that they can drink. I personally do not have soda at home. We buy it on special occasions. And when my kids see me with a can of soda, they're like, "Mommy, you're drinking soda," because it's not something common, right, in my home. So I think that we make the choices, we buy the food, and we prepare the food. And I think that it's starting with those choices that we make is going to show them that that's an important, decision that we're making in order to stay healthy.
Yes. Ms. Cipriano, you have your hand up? You would like to share?
Yes, I love this topic as well. I'm a social worker intern, the MS390. I'm very excited working with the students. And I was in a little conference like a week ago. I also work for the New York City Health and Hospital, so I'm one of the monitor of this virus right now that we are having. You too? Awesome. Awesome, Justin. Yes. So basically, one of our doctors, they were saying that the medicine that we are taking for those chronic condition that sorry, your name is covered by Rosendo, right, Miss Rosendo, the chronic illness, right? That all nutritioners are worried that we develop when we eat too much sugar, when we consume too much fat. All the medicine that they use, doctors usually use for us, when you break down this medicine, they're coming from a plant, right? So basically what they are suggesting places are eating healthy, so that way you avoid chronic conditions. So definitely the eating of much healthy definitely will help you moving towards a positive direction. And another thing just to add on top is our kid. I also have a very young brother, and they will follow what you teach on their home, in your home, basically. It's hard, yes, it is. They're supposed to, McDonald's right there in the corner, right? And that is something that as a family, we have to, know that we have our enemy next to us, but that doesn't mean that we have to lose hope. We definitely want to maintain our home as healthy as possible. So yeah, that's my suggestion.
Yeah, if I may share, when I was a boy, back in the yard, we only have water and plátanos in the nevera. You wanted something to eat, you go to the backyard, and we had coconuts, we had oranges, we had cherries, we have all kinds of plants in the backyard, and that was the they call it merienda. We didn't have that luxury to have all these snacks in the fridge, so I tell that to my daughters all the time.
And you have the patio to run and burn
Yep.
those calories. So that's like the perfect picture.
And the
We
best
don't have the luxury.
and the best PlayStation was chase that chicken, play with that wheel, throw rocks. And that was the best PlayStation, definitely. Well, we're almost running out of time. Thank you, Ms. Rosendo, for all your information. And if you remember that if you need to make an appointment at the clinic, just call. They do vaccinations. They do physicals. Help me
Yes.
out. And
Yes. The clinic is opened. I know that the building to the 390 building is opened for our patients, for our students. So we are there Monday through Friday from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The last patient comes in at 2:30. So if your child has not seen their pediatrician for a physical and they need the flu vaccine or any kind of vaccine for school, please give us a call. We have, the availability to see them in our clinic, and we also following the CDC COVID protocols in order to maintain the physical distancing in between patients, in between visits, and we are following the protocol to stop the spread. So if you're concerned about taking your child to your pediatrician because they're based in the hospital, I think that the school clinic is your best option. I am a physician assistant and I'm able to do physical examinations, do asthma management, we do blood works, and that's how we identified if your child needs a referral. We are part of the community clinic, Morris Heights Health Center. We have clinics throughout the Bronx, and we are very fortunate to be close to one of our main sites on 85 West Burnside. So I'm always able to fit in my patients to see the specialist right located in our community. So please give us a call. Our number is has changed, so I'm gonna give it to you, and I'm also gonna put it in the chat. The number to the school clinic is 347-498-2230. And give us a call, and we will be more than happy to schedule an appointment for your child so that we can see them. I encourage you to, you don't have to call us if you want to continue, care with your pediatrician, with your son's doctor. But please do call them, schedule an appointment, get them to get their physical examination and their vaccines up to date. This is the time to make sure that all the health needs are met, and and to stay safe. I
Thank
put the
you.
number to our clinic in the chat. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call.
Thank you very much. I know that Ms. Rosendo shared that the school is open for the clinic, but middle schools and high schools are still closed, and we don't have a date when they're going to open. However, I go into the school sometimes, and we'll be able to give you whatever if you need to repair an iPad, or if you have any type of situation that we have to deal in person. Just contact me at my cell number. Ms. Poe and Ms. Carr, if you could put your cell phone numbers also on the chat, so that way parents could contact us directly. Please don't call the school, because it's kind of difficult grabbing phones that we don't know who touched it before. And and sometimes we're not even in the office, we're just in the hallway talking to other parents. So it's best to send us an email or call us directly to our phone numbers, because the phone at the school often is not being picked up because we're not there, or we have to struggle to clean it before talking in it, and it's not that sanitary to be using a phone that everybody grabs. So that's why it's best just to contact us on our phone.
Mr. Duran, allow me to add, and please, we really appreciate your patience. When you are calling, I'm going to speak for me. When you are calling, I find myself with 3 computers open, 2 conferences going on, answering to texts, and the last thing I'm going to do is pick up a phone call in the middle of it. So please be mindful. If we don't answer, text us or leave us a message and we will get back to you. Thank you.
Yes, and leave us a message. Please share your child's number. Your child's name with us, the complete names, because I always tell you, we have like 1,000 Jeremys, 1,000,000 Ashleys, and sometimes it's difficult because we cannot be ready to answer your question if we don't know which child are we talking about. Okay. With that said, there are only one more thing pending. We are going to get our surveys. You remember that green envelope? That's coming back again this year in a digital form. And we would like for all the parents to fill it out as soon as possible. I don't have it yet, but as soon as I have it, I'm going to distribute that information. And I know that when you're mad, when you're angry, you want to do the survey. But when you're happy, you pay no attention to the survey. But we want to capture everybody. And that survey is going to have questions regarding the remote learning, regarding the teachers, regarding, the office staff like me. So it's important for everybody to say, your experience and to share with us what you think. And not with us. That will be with the city, because they're the one making all the decisions, and we are just the face that you see.
Yes, I would like to add something. We recently sent emails to the parents and with instructions on how to sign up for My Student account so that you can access your child's report card. The report cards were ready on December 23rd. And the only way in order to get a copy of the first marking period report card is to sign up, if you haven't done so already, for the My Student account. I sent emails out to all of the parents in the 6th and 7th grade, and I know that Ms. Poe sent emails out to the parents in the 8th grade. So please look for an email from me, scar@ms390.com, and it has the instructions on how to set up the account. I did not include the letters because each letter is unique and confidential for your child. So you can just email me back and I will be happy to provide a copy of the letter with the creation code. So yeah, if you haven't done so, please look for my email, look for Ms. Poe's email if your student is an 8th grader, and please get back to us, all right? So, because that's the only way report cards will be delivered. So, first marking period is already available. And we are in the second marking period now. All right? Thank you, Mr. Duran.
Thank you, Ms. Carr. The second marking period will end in March, and the same process will take place. If you are requesting school letters, you could send me an email or send it to the school secretary. We would need your name, full name, your child's full name, your address, and your phone number. So that way the Miss Lisa, the school secretary, could give you a call and let you know where to pick up the letter, or if it's going to be emailed to you.
And a photo ID, Mr. Duran.
Yes, thank you. And a photo ID. Yes. So if we don't have any questions, going once, going twice, let me check the chat. Maybe I have to read something here. No. So thank you, everybody, for coming. In 2 weeks, we will meet again. We have several things already planned for that time. And thank you for coming, and good night.